Welcome to Empowermente, the headquarters of personal empowerment. Welcome to another episode of Empowermente. So as you can see, our setup has slightly changed. We are moving and we're improving. If you could see what I'm looking at right now, it's literally 4 lights. I need to get one of those big lights so that it just works out every time. But this is the process. And I'm happy that you're here along with me in this process, and I'm so excited for today's episode. It's going to be a topic that will literally change your life if you learn how to apply it, and it will make it so much more flowy, so much more easeful, so much more empowering. And I am so excited to deep dive into this topic. And today's topic is that your success, whether that be starting a business, elevating your career, start to share your voice, whatever it may be, is not dictated by strategy. It's dictated by your inner work. I know, crazy subject, but I want to share with you that the inner work actually matters, and I'm going to share why, and why when you feel blocked in something, it's never about the strategy, it's never about the money, it's never about something physical, it's always something internal. So let's go ahead and deep dive into this. I want to start by sharing that whenever you know that you want to do something, let's just say you want to start a business and that you know that you have to do a business plan, and weeks pass by and you cannot for the life of you get free time, you don't have the mental capacity, you're too tired, and you finally set 2 hours aside to work on this thing that you've been wanting to work on. It's no coincidence that a million things happen for you to actually sit down and do it. And when you sit down and do it, there's another blocker that comes up, whether it's feeling like overwhelmed, feeling nauseous, feeling frustrated, and not even really starting. It's because you're really not necessarily avoiding the thing that you've been avoiding, such as like building the business plan. What you're really avoiding is that feeling that creating that business plan is gonna give you. So let me say that again. When you're avoiding a task and you're procrastinating on it, it's not that you're avoiding necessarily the thing for one reason or another. It's because you're avoiding the feeling that thing is going to give you. But what if I told you that you can become friends with that feeling so that as you start new endeavors, it becomes so much easier for you to flow in them? You're not lazy, you're not overwhelmed, you're not unmotivated. You just have a subconscious block. And in this podcast episode, we're really going to unpack why those behaviors that are perhaps self-sabotaging us and perhaps delaying or procrastinating us, they're not really laziness. It's just your nervous system and your subconscious mind trying to protect you. This is for the mujeres who are looking to start a brand, start a business, share their voice, looking to elevate in their business. The women that are always about growing themselves, this episode is for you, because as you start doing new things, blocks are gonna come up, I guarantee it. And so I'm excited to share this episode to help you move through them and just make your life easier overall. That's my goal with this episode. We've all been there, and I've been there. I am a multi-passionate manifesting generator, which means that I need to do so many things in order to feel good. It's just part of how I operate. And by many things, I don't necessarily mean in quantity. I mean in diversity and variety. Like, I just need to do different things at the same time. It's how I obtain satisfaction out of life. And so when I know that I'm going to step into something new, which is pretty often, I do it every 3 to 6 months, I know that there's going to blocks that come up, and they have come up every single time. From creating an Airbnb business to start public speaking to pitch myself to do something new, it always comes up. And even with ADHD, I realized that momentum doesn't really come from hustling harder. It's from getting honest about the things that are underneath the procrastination, the fear of judgment, the paralyzation, the perfection. There is always something underneath that. My Mexican accent has come in more in this episode. But let me tell you why strategy alone isn't enough. So here's a fact. 95% of our behavior, so our thoughts, feelings, and actions, are dictated by our subconscious mind. And we know this. The way that we were programmed from 0 to 7 years old most of the time is going to dictate our behavior, which sucks, which is not great to know. But know that we have the power and we have the ability to reprogram our mind. And by the end of this episode, I'm going to leave you with a really great exercise that's going to help you get through it. And this is applicable for first-gen women who were raised to not take up space, for women of color that have been conditioned through their values growing up and through society that they're not meant to take up space. They're meant to prioritize safety over self-expression, and high achievers who have inner stories of like, who am I to do this? Who am I to go after this? And so, for example, one thing that happened to me is that I delivered a TED Talk in 2019 when I was 22 years old, and you would be surprised to know how much I didn't share anything about it. Like, sometimes I would say that I had a TED Talk and I even was open about it, but I actually was terrified of sharing it with people until like 3-4 years later. Like, I didn't feel comfortable with it. And the reason was because I was so afraid of being judged for my imperfection in my public speaking. And not only that, but close family members made comments as to why did you do a TED Talk about that topic? And the topic was empowering women in STEM and leadership. They were like, basically, who are you to do that TED Talk? You should wait until you have some leadership title, until you're actually in your career for you to talk about it. Because this was before I even worked at Microsoft, but I had worked in several internships, and obviously like I was obtaining my master's degree. So I was valid in my women in STEM title, but they just thought that I needed to be some sort of company leader to be able to do that. And in my head, I internalized it, and I just felt like every time that I had to share it, I didn't feel comfortable with it because I had already experienced rejection from somebody that really loves me. And also I was just afraid of being judged because it was like my first talk, and I didn't want people to know like that I didn't do it perfectly. And so for a long time, I didn't share that. And my body equated that visibility with danger. But the reality is that by not sharing my TEDx talk, it limited me because it could have gotten me so many other speaking opportunities. It could have positioned me as a thought leader even years ago, but I didn't do it. And so I think that's the opportunity cost of struggling with things like this, is that it just limits you and your ability to get more opportunities, to get your desires, to get your deepest dreams. And literally because your subconscious mind is just too afraid to go into that next level. Perfect. So far we've covered why you're not lazy and you're not unmotivated. It's just you have a subconscious block. And second, we have covered why strategy alone isn't enough, because no matter if you have the perfect plan and the perfect blueprint, you're not going to be able to move forward if you have subconscious blocks or if you have mindset blocks. And so now I'm going to cover with you about the upper happiness limit that was originally coined by Mr. Gay Hendricks. So he's a psychologist that talked about the upper happiness limit, but I think this is applicable to any part of our identity, whether it be comfort, whether it be happiness, whether it be like how empowered we feel. I think we all have a threshold of what our comfort is. And if we go past that threshold, our brain will do anything in our power to bring us back to safety, which is what our brain perceives. But really what we want to do is make that threshold longer and larger so that we can become a more expansive version of ourselves, right? And so when things get too good, we tend to sabotage and look to what's familiar. And so that's what he would call an upper happiness limit or an upper limit problem. And so when you're aware of this, it's just so much easier to navigate, because again, instead of taking it personal, you're like, oh, I just hit a limit and I have the power and the tools to get past it. And if you cannot or have not been able to get past the block, I'm going to give you a prompt in the next section about how to jump past it. And if you need more support, then you are perfect for my one-on-one coaching program, which is where I help you either start your business, start sharing your voice, or start that creative endeavor outside of your 9-to-5 that is heart-led. We discussed a little bit about how it shows up, right? Like if you already have an idea of what you want to do, and when you're about to launch, suddenly like things start to get too busy. Like suddenly you get a lot of work, suddenly you get a lot of family things, suddenly all these outside things start to really affect your ability to do the thing. It's actually really funny that when you have internal blocks, your external reality will reflect it, because it's all about our own lens. Other examples to understand that is that if you have a certain threshold about how happy or comfortable you're used to being in a relationship, if you're in a relationship and things start to feel too good, out of nowhere you will start fights without even realizing that it's because you're hitting that limit. So just different examples to help you portray it. And so I'm going to give you a few list of personas, and I'm going to give you their desire, their pain point, their fear, their block, and a way that they can reframe what they're going through. And then at the end, I'm going to give you the exercise. So let's take Desiree, for example. She wants to start her own business around spirituality. She wants to start doing readings, and she wants to start doing something really different than what she's doing now. And so she wants to start posting so that she can start getting more clients, but she starts to get paralyzed by overthinking as to like, what should my offer be? Should I be doing this type of posting? Like, how often should I be posting? Like, am I even like talking to the right people? And really what it is a deep fear of like, what will my family think? What will they say if they know that I'm into this or that I have changed? That's the thing underneath all the fear, underneath all the procrastination. And so a reframe here would be being seen as I am isn't selfish. It is service. I am going to help people through the thing that I'm birthing, and I'm going to guide them, and I'm going to help them so much. So rather than seeing as something like weird or different because it's different from what they grew up with, it's seen like, okay, this is the service that I strongly believe in, and it has helped me in my personal life so much, and I'm going to guide other people in it, right? Let's take another person. Laura, for example. She's a multi-passionate, but she's also an overthinker, and this may or may not be based on me. So she has 10 ideas, right? A podcast, a YouTube channel, coaching program, but she hasn't launched anything yet. And her pain point is that when she starts planning, and she spirals into burnout before taking action. And so the deep fear would be, what if I pick the wrong thing and people judge me for switching later, or people think I'm too scattered, or I'm doing too much or too little. So the block here is the fear of commitment mixed with pressure to get it perfect from the start. And again, it doesn't have to necessarily be these two blocks. It can be so many more, but it's just an example. And the reframe here would be, you don't have to get it perfect. You just have to start. So powerful. I hope these examples give you an idea of like what kind of things can stop you from starting something that you really want to do. And so if you're a person that's constantly overthinking what you're doing, you don't need more strategy. You don't need more answers. What you need is to believe in yourself. You need more self-trust. Creativity flows when the body feels safe. Your first offer doesn't have to be perfect. Your first like business idea, branding, whatever it may be, it doesn't have to be perfect, because it's going to evolve with you as you grow. It's going to evolve with your business and with yourself. And that's the whole point, right? Like the expression of oneself in something physical. And so mindset and inner work just gives strategy meaning, and it allows you to actually enjoy the process rather than be fixating on what's working and what's not working and making the process super robotic. And so I want to guide you through a quick embodying exercise that I use with my coaching clients. And this is a short guided moment. You're not driving. I want you to close your eyes and breathe deeply. I want you to imagine yourself doing that thing that you've been wanting to do. Whether it be starting public speaking, starting content, whatever it is, think about it right now. Think about you getting positive feedback from your ideal person in real time. So picture yourself getting messages from people saying like, you've really helped me, you changed my life, I love your business, I love what you started. Feel the feeling of feeling grounded, feeling seen, and feeling proud. And then I want you to ask yourself 3 things that can be journaled, or you can just think about them. 1, what did you let go to get here? What are the things that you had to shed in order to be that person? 2, what do you believe about yourself now? What do you believe about that version of you? And 3, I want you to ask that version of yourself, what do you need from me right now? Ooh, so good and so powerful, y'all. Please journal or do this in a voice note. But I think, that is it for today. And I just want to emphasize that you're not underqualified. It's not that you're not ready. It's not that you're not capable. It's just you're blocked. You're blocked, but your ideas deserve to be heard. Your ideas deserve to take life, and they deserve to have a place outside of your head, okay? Don't wait until you've healed everything to show up, and let the healing happen along the way. Wait until if you're listening to this and you're thinking, damn, this is me, and you want to really go deep into it so that you can transform within to start taking action in the things that you've been putting off, I'm your girl. I help high achieving women remove their blocks so that they can create the thing that's going to have such a meaningful impact on people. I help them create a life that feels good and aligned, not just looks good. If you're ready for aligned momentum, make sure that you book a consult call in the show notes. Looks good. Yay, we did it. Thank you so much for being here. If this resonates with you, if you like the podcast, please rate it 5 stars on Spotify, or if you're watching on YouTube, please thumbs up it and subscribe to me. I really appreciate you watching. And remember, you're not broken, you're not lazy, you're not easily overwhelmed, you're not too much, you're not too little, you're just perfect, and you're doing really amazing. Les mando mucho amor y muchos saludos. Se cuidan.